The Weekly Wrap is the week in news and what's coming up. I'm Claire Kimball.
And I'm Jodie Speers. Donald Trump cannot seem to shake off interest in the Epstein files. This is a story that just keeps on growing.
Yeah, it keeps on growing and is very easy not to glance across. You kind of have to have this base understanding, I think, to really keep up with it because it is years and years of background and lots of developments this week, including Rupert Murdoch, who, of course, is the former boss of News Corp. I think he's the chairman these days. He's been drawn into the centre of the coverage, and we'll get to that. But we thought that it's worth just doing a bit of an explainer so you've got a bit of background and a bit of a base to stand on. If you keep hearing about the Epstein files and don't really know what they are, here we go.
Yeah, so essentially we're talking about a bunch of documents gathered by the US Justice Department and the FBI in their investigations into Jeffrey Epstein, who was the rich financier and the child sex offender who was charged with trafficking minors for sex.
Yeah, and the reason this keeps bubbling up into the news is that Epstein had a bunch of very rich and powerful friends, including Donald Trump, including Prince Andrew. Andrew, of course, was famously disgraced by his connection to Epstein. He was removed from royal duties as a consequence of all of that. Epstein took his own life in jail after being arrested in 2019, but it's long been suspected that amongst all of the court documents and legal documents on him is this list of very high-profile associates who might have been implicated in his crimes.
Yeah, the reason this has bubbled up now is because Trump campaigned on a promise that he would release the so-called Epstein files. He talked about draining the swamp. That went down really well with his supporters. They were really keen to see the elites exposed and people held accountable. Trump hasn't done that, though, and he's now calling these files a hoax.
Yeah, so the Justice Department said earlier this month that there was no list of names and no basis to continue this Epstein investigation, and that triggered a real backlash amongst Trump's base. It's been one of the biggest challenges from his base to his leadership and the things that he was promising to do. Hanging over all of this have been these rumours that Trump himself could be one of the names on this list of associates.
Yeah, you might remember us talking about a recent explosive post along these lines from Elon Musk on X. So just to explain the relationship, Trump and Epstein were quite close friends for about 15 years or so before they fell out in the early 2000s. Apparently that was over a property transaction.
Yeah, and that was, of course, just to give you the sense of timing, well before his presidential run, and Trump has spent years since then distancing himself from Epstein, saying that he wasn't a fan, but they were close friends for a long time, as you say. We mentioned Rupert Murdoch. Let's get to that bit. We started this week on Squiz Today talking about a $10 billion lawsuit that Trump has filed against Murdoch's newspaper, The Wall Street Journal. They published late last week an article saying that they had a sexually suggestive letter that was supposedly written by Trump for Epstein's birthday in 2003.
Yeah, Trump denies that he wrote it. He said, "They're not my words. I didn't do drawings. It wasn't mine." And he says that he's been defamed by this. The Wall Street Journal is not backing down, though. They published a story late this week saying that Trump was told by the US Attorney General, a woman by the name of Pam Bondi, back in May this year, that he was named in the Epstein files. And the story cited senior administration officials.
Trump did what he does best. He called that fake news. He said that it was all concocted by the Democrats. It's not going away, though. Ghislaine Maxwell has been subpoenaed to give a deposition for a congressional committee. That's going to happen in a couple of weeks. She's also being questioned at the moment by the Department of Justice. The insinuation there is that she's got evidence to give, things that she hasn't talked about. Maxwell, of course, was put in jail for 20 years for her role in trafficking girls for Epstein. She was his former partner.